When a harmful habit is crushed, it's seen as a clear victory. Quitting something that society labels as bad is the ultimate sign of self-improvement. But what happens when the addiction is something society actually praises? What if you are relentlessly, compulsively addicted to studying? Is it still a good habit if it's no longer under your control? From the moment we start school, we are fed a singular narrative that endless reading and academic consumption are the only guaranteed paths to a successful life. We are conditioned to equate the ritual of studying with the certainty of a future. However, when studying becomes a blind addiction, it turns into a theoretical bubble, divorced from real-world application. If you spend 20 years absorbing data without ever testing it against reality, you aren't gaining intelligence. You are just accumulating information. This chart shows the result of that disconnect, a pipeline that produces millions of expert students who eventually find themselves in a maze of dead ends because they learned how to follow a script, but not how to navigate the world. Simply labeling a habit as good doesn't make it safe. Blind compliance is still an addiction, and it can be just as destructive as the habits we're taught to fear. This trap is built on psychological addictions, rigid beliefs that we clutch onto just as fiercely as any physical substance. Our upbringing installs a mental algorithm, categorizing activities into good or bad buckets before experiencing them. This inherited code claims playing sports ruins life, while sitting in classrooms builds it, creating an education system prioritizing passive information and completely neglecting the physical play children need. When we rely on these pre-programmed categories, we stop thinking for ourselves. We trade human intelligence for automated, robotic compliance. The danger is that these definitions of good and bad aren't fixed truths. They are nothing more than shifting societal trends. Take the career of a photographer. Not long ago, it was categorized as a low-status, dead-end job, something you did to take passport photos or cover local weddings if you couldn't find real work. Today, that exact same path is celebrated as a high-status, creative profession. Families who once looked down on it now hold it up as a model for the next generation to follow. If society can completely change its mind in a single generation, then tying your life to these labels is a massive risk. You are following a map that is constantly being redrawn. Betting your future on what the crowd currently praises will inevitably trap you in a life you didn't actually choose for yourself. This reveals a paradox. The things labeled good can lead to stagnation, while the things labeled bad might actually be the keys to your growth. Breaking the cycle requires a manual override. You must place a question mark on every pattern in your life, regardless of societal labels. This act of questioning is the true beginning of intelligence, moving past memorized scripts to interrogate the source of your beliefs. When you stop worrying about labels, you can focus on the only metric that actually leads to success: learning. A bad experience you learn from is a valuable asset, but a good habit that you follow blindly, without question, is completely useless.